In Strayed Lights, you play as a little light battling bigger and darker forces all around you. Set in a dark, mysterious, and beautiful world, I was lucky enough to get a 1-hour hands-on early preview of the game. In this video, I want to share my initial impressions, not only of the gameplay, but of how it made me feel, as I think this game has the potential to capture people's hearts and minds, as well as being a fun game to play. Strayed Lights is developer Embers' first game, and is a unique take on action-adventure with a focus on fluid yet challenging fights, all centered around a parry mechanic. Rather than just attacking each enemy you encounter, you're encouraged to wait and parry their attacks. This builds up energy, and once you've built up enough, you can unleash it all to defeat your foe. Adding to this to make it more interesting is a color match system. You and your enemies can swap between a blue or orange glow at any time. Parrying the matching color will gather energy and heal a little bit of health, while parrying the opposite color will only save you from taking damage. This makes fights feel almost like a rhythm game. Watching your enemies not only for an attack, but swapping to the same color as them for each attack, which adds an extra layer of skill and excitement to each fight. Besides blue and orange, some enemies will glow purple and attack. These cannot be blocked and must be dodged to avoid damage altogether. This adds a nice bit of variation to the fights that keeps you on your toes. You do unlock a basic attack that stores a small amount of energy on each hit, which can be great to get a little more energy after parrying a long combo. You will also unlock 3 different skills that use a limited energy meter, and you can swap between them at any point. Each of these 3 skills allow you to approach battles slightly differently. One skill allows you to temporarily ignore colors and store energy when parrying either blue or orange without switching. Another skill allows you to do a quick stun attack on nearby enemies, giving you some breathing room or allowing you to make a few quick attacks yourself. My personal favorite of the 3 was a large smash attack that not only gains you energy, but also interrupts most enemies, letting you break up combos or stopping them from attacking altogether. Defeating enemies gives you 1 skill point each, and after saving up enough, you're able to unlock any of these active abilities or other passive abilities. These are things like gaining more health, attacking after parrying a full combo without taking damage to do a strong counter attack, or holding the attack button to do a more powerful charge attack. All of these abilities are great additions to the gameplay and help keep things feeling fresh and like you're getting more powerful as you play. If you browse my channel, you'll see that I'm a sucker for games that do a good amount of world building, be that through lore, text, or just raw gameplay. I love games with a great story, and more often than not, games I love the most are the ones that don't just spell it out all for you, they leave some things to the imagination or for you to interpret. Strayed Lights seems like this will be a game that follows along that same way of storytelling, which I couldn't be happier about. Alexander Aramon, co-founder and creative director at Embers, has said, "We intentionally added no text or dialogue in the game to let players come up with their own interpretation." In Strayed Lights, players will play as an unbalanced being of light and darkness on its path towards awakening and realizing its full potential. Throughout the game, the tiny light will evolve and grow while helping soothe the souls of enemies tormented by their own inner demons. This is a really interesting and cool concept. At the beginning of the game, we see the little light born, take its first few steps, and already begin to grow. After stumbling through a storm, it reaches a crystal wall that glows with power as the being begins to grow and evolve even more. We see its reflections split off and try and steal its own light. This begins the imbalance in the creatures across many different worlds or areas, and sets up our own path for the light to begin cleansing those darker emotions. While the preview only had us explore one area, I've seen in other trailers varied and beautiful looking landscapes of different areas we will get to explore. The game itself looks amazing, the art style is cute with a great artistic direction and bright colors that pop off the screen. Characters have unique designs and do seem to be very expressive looking, which has me hopeful for a lot of unique interpretations of where the story will take us. In the small slice that I got to play, the enemy designs were interesting, but there was not a ton of variation. Hopefully there will be unique enemies in each area we explore with different attack patterns and combos to keep combat fresh and exciting. The music and sound design is wonderful, and this is one area of the game I am so looking forward to. The soundtrack has been created by award-winning composer Wintory, who is one of my all-time favorite composers. His other works include games like Abzu, Journey, The Pathless, The Banner Saga, and countless others. As there will be no dialogue, the music will be something that is heavily relied on to get the emotions of the creatures across, and if anyone can bring a tear to my eye with music alone, it's Wintory. The gameplay itself was fairly linear, and I'm not expecting any big open maps for us to explore. The one area I was able to play in had a couple of small branching paths that, if explored, led you to some out-of-the-way collectibles that increase the amount of energy you gain when parrying. So there will be a little bit of exploration allowed, but I would expect a fairly linear game overall. There was also a boss battle at the end of the stage where you faced an oversized monkey who was too excited or jealous and wanted to play with the other creatures of the forest, but not realizing its own strength, it was hurting them instead of just playing. The fight broke down into multiple phases where you needed to get close enough to the boss to parry and featured faster and longer combos of attacks that required quick color switching to stay on top. After 3 phases, I had enough energy to defeat the boss and cleanse its negative emotions, bringing it back to a normal size. This is where the gameplay ended, and I couldn't see if there were any physical changes to our player character or if anything else different happened after. Overall, I really enjoyed the gameplay and the little taste I was given of Strayed Lights. I think there is a lot of potential in the game and see little bits of other great indie games like the Pathless, Kena Bridge of Spirits, Grime, or even Asterigos in its DNA. Embers has just announced today that the game will be releasing on April 25th, 2023 for PS4, PS5, Xbox Series X and S, Xbox One, Switch, and PC via Steam, Epic, and Good Old Games. With this announcement, they've also released a brand new trailer that I've uploaded to my channel. As well, you can check out the full video of my preview gameplay live on my channel now. I still do have a few questions about Strayed Lights that I've reached out to Embers for answers. There was no difficulty settings in the preview, and while the combat was fun, it did feel a little too easy in most battles. Near the end of the preview, I got into a couple fights with multiple enemies, which did make things a little more difficult, but I never saw a game over even against the boss. I also wonder how long the game will be, as the skill tree I saw in the preview was not very large, so I wonder if there will be more to unlock to keep the combat exciting, or if you'll unlock a couple abilities and then it might feel a bit more repetitive the rest of the way through. As soon as I get some more answers back, I'll make another video and let you all know, so make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any coverage on Strayed Lights. I'm still very much looking forward to the release of this game and can't wait to see how the community responds and interprets the game's story as a whole. Be sure to check out my gameplay preview, as well as the official gameplay preview trailer that just released now, both linked in the pinned comment below. And as always, happy gaming.